What's up, YouTube? In this video, I want to just explain a bit of my mindset, my approach to how I teach a child how to ride a bike. Now, if you have a little human in your life, if you want to pass on and share the joy of what it's like experiencing that freedom of being on a bike, you're going to want to start with a run bike, a strider bike, a balance bike. This is a bike that doesn't have pedals. So the pedals are off, and then they're able to glide and practice that sensation and feeling and the balance required to coast. This allows you to skip the training wheel phase. Most small mountain towns have a whole bunch of little groms, little humans running around on their strider bikes when they're around 2 years old. I think around 18 months, 15 months, once they can walk and they're getting a little more sturdy on their feet, they can then sit on a bike and start walking, holding onto a wheel. It's not much different than having a little kid walking push toy, right? But now they sit on it, and I think there's those little plastic cars that kids sit on, and then they have a little toy. So the run bike is kind of like that. You can do it inside on a hardwood floor, a carpeted floor in a basement if they have a rec room area, or outside on the road or sidewalk is a great place to start. If you have a child who's maybe in that 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old range, any age, there's no age, and they have training wheels and they're holding onto those training wheels maybe a little longer than you think they need or than they should, I'm all about validating my kids' experience, following their lead to a point, making sure that they're comfortable doing the next step. So I would confidently and lovingly and supportively say to a child, your training wheels are coming off today. I'm gonna hold on to you and make sure nothing bad happens to you. And that way, they know the plan. They can sense the confidence in my voice. I'm gonna hold their seat. I'm gonna bend over. I'm gonna hurt my back a little bit. Bending over, running alongside them. And maybe we'll just do it for 5 minutes on the first day. Maybe this means they don't get to bike as much, right? Because they had their pedal bike with the training wheels. They got to bike, around the block and go further because they had that comfort. And now you're not gonna be able to do that for a couple days to maybe a week or so. But after a couple days of 5 minutes a day, 5 to 10 minutes a day of holding onto that seat, obviously what's gonna happen? You're gonna be letting go for fractions of a second at a time. And you're going to make sure that they don't have a negative fall. You wanna do everything you can in your power to not have a negative experience and that they can trust you. And so, you don't let go until they're ready. And you run alongside them. And if they're starting to get wobbly, you do your best to come up beside them, behind them, and grab a hold of them. My partner and I talk a lot about wanting to have confident kids. And confident kids is nothing, I'm not talking about like surface level ego confidence. I'm talking about like deep down, knowing who they are and being comfortable with where they're at, right? And that includes areas in life where they don't know something and maybe they're not proficient. But one of the powers of sport, one of the best things about activities is how kids gain confidence through competence. Competency builds confidence. It's a positive feedback loop. When a child books a win, maybe they pedal with you letting go for 5 seconds and then you come back up, right? Maybe that's the progress on day 2 or day 1, day 4. And the joy and that win that does for them is huge. And so when I'm teaching my kids these outdoor sports at the early ages, I don't want them to crash and have a negative experience. I want them to associate positive things with learning the new activity, because there's fear, there's uncertainty, and it can be scary to drop the training wheels. Now, this approach and this mindset is applicable to any activity or anything that you do. You have to show up for a few minutes a day, every day in a row. You can take a day off, but that's the ticket to learning a new language. That's the ticket to learning anything new. You show up consistently every day, time in the ring. And at the end of the day, whether a child becomes proficient at biking or skiing or basketball or baseball or cricket, ping pong, doesn't matter what the activity is, there's something else happening there. So in summary, to teach your kid how to ride a bike, you're going to want to keep it short, show up every day. You want to have fun. Maybe I missed that part. And you want to assure them that you're there for them. So if your child is trying to drop the training wheels, it can be very scary. And you want to make sure that you put in the time and put in the presence. You want to be there for them and let them know you're there. You don't just want to push them off and increase their chances of probability of having a crash early on, you want to hold them and let them know that it's possible for them to be riding a bike without training wheels with you holding them. And then you can let go for a second or two at a time. Hold the back of the seat, hold the handlebar, and good things will happen. If you're new here, I make outdoor adventure family content. This is a bit of a different style of video. I'm just hopping on here to share a little bit of a tutorial or a little bit of mindset of how to teach a child how to bike. And hit the subscribe button if you want to follow our family's adventures and journeys, and if you want more content like this. I like sharing our outings and our adventures, but I also like kind of exploring the more meaningful values behind our outdoor lifestyle and why we do the things we do. More importantly, I hope you get outside and have an adventure of your own, or with your kids if you have kids, and yeah, enjoy life, enjoy the outdoors. Take care. Movers and shakers.